Hey guys, welcome to my channel F1 Sports Cards. My name's Glenn and today we're going to be talking about a brand new contender has thrown their hat into the ring to claim the spot of being Lewis Hamilton's very first officially licensed card. Let's get right into it. Before we get into today's video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that obviously smashes up the like button on these videos and to all the new subscribers. If you're into F1 cards or into the card hobby in general, you're in safe hands here because that's what we talk about. Make sure that you click subscribe so you get notified every time I upload a new video. You can also get extra content from me over on my Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and the Facebook group F1 Sports Cards. There's 4,000 members in there, so if you have any questions about any of your own cards at home, if I can't answer it, I'm sure one of the guys in the group will more than help. You can also shop for cards 24/7 over on my website, f1sportscards.com. And you can also take part in box breaks that I do live over on the Whatnot app, which you can download for free. And there is a link in the description down below. If you use that code, you get £10 free once you make your first purchase. So hopefully you can take part in one of my breaks for free. Happy days. Right, let's get into today's video. So before I show you the card that I want to talk about, I have to give you guys a brief history lesson, so I'm sorry about that, but I am going to reward you if you watch right through to the end. I'm actually going to give one of you guys a piece of this set that I'm about to show you, which is super rare. So please make sure you watch through to the end for your chance to win one of these beautiful cards at the end of this video. So let's get right into it. Let's have a little look at the contenders of previous Lewis Hamilton known rookie cards. You guys know that obviously I've talked about this on many videos, and I've done a whole video about the Formula E and MotoGP magazine, which was a Czech Republic publication back from 2005. This is when Lewis Hamilton was in F3. So this is, in terms of time, this is Lewis Hamilton's earliest known card. But what a lot of the collectors will say from the more modern era stuff is that this wasn't fully licensed and approved by the FIA and Formula One to make these cards. The publication just made them with probably a backhander or a nod from maybe Bernie Ecclestone. So if you know, you know. The next card that we would have here is a Futura 2006, which is Lewis Hamilton's next card, which was like a up-and-coming rookie that you should keep an eye out for. And that is a beautiful card. I would love to own one of them, but there's only a few of those in the world, and unfortunately I've never managed to get my hands on one. If you have one that you'd like to give to me or sell me, please get in touch. But it's a card that I would love to have in my personal collection, but that is from 2006 when Lewis Hamilton was in GP2, which now is been streamlined and called Formula 2. There's also a couple of top trump cards that were known as Lewis Hamilton's rookie cards back then, when people were trying to first find his first one. But then we move forward to 2020, where Topps came into the scene and they got the full licensing agreement to print and make and distribute Formula 1 and Formula 2 images on cards going forward for the next 10 years. So that agreement is we're about halfway through that agreement, and I hope they renew that going into the future. As far as I'm aware, first known card, and I know many Americans will go, oh, I can't believe he's talking about TurboTax. If we're talking timelines, this is in there. So we have Lewis Hamilton's first known Topps image card, and that is TurboTax from 2020. Now, because this was a mass-produced product and it was had to be made very quickly because Topps had only just got the licensing agreement for that year and they were trying to make it within that year, it was I would say a rushed through product. So these are very difficult to get in PSA 9s, 10s. I only ever see these in 6s and 7s. So if you own anything higher than that, you've done pretty well. This is image number 1 in the set. I really like it. It's got Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes in the white kit. and obviously the British flag in the background. So beautiful looking card, but I know many Americans didn't really get turbo attacks over there, so this was more of just a European thing. But I'm a European and I collect them cards and I really like them. Moving forward, we have the more modern stuff, which is Topps Chrome 2020. This is the image that many of you will know and have seen. This is Lewis Hamilton in the black Mercedes outfit. And this is a full body portrait shot, a beautiful card nonetheless. Still to this day, probably one of the best looking portrait cards from any of the sets. Now, obviously fast forwarding all the way to 2024. So this is probably one of my favorite images. You can get this in refractor, you can get it in lower numbered parallels. And in terms of value, in terms of cards sold, this one is currently sort of holding its own. It seems to have sold very, very well on Goldin. These don't sell at all. I don't know anyone that goes around buying these Lewis Hamilton turbo attacks, but I like them. And then these sell currently, I don't know, for about £100 a card. But if you go for the lower rarity parallel, so say like a superfractor, you're talking, I believe one was reported to have sold on Netflix series King of Collectibles for between $900,000 and $1 million. So really high-end stuff. Obviously you have his autograph card in that set as well, which is an on-sticker autograph that they put on top of these portraits. So that is the history of the main contenders for Lewis Hamilton rookie cards. So I'm about to show you what the new one is that's just come on the scene and that I've been made aware of. So let's have a little look at it. And it's this card here. This is the Lewis Hamilton from GP2 media kit card. And I'm going to give you guys a little story onto who made this card, where it's come from, when it was made, and how it's come about now and how rare it is. So just bear with me. So we've got here Lewis Hamilton card. Now it has got a very small image of Lewis Hamilton, although he does look very young in this picture, I have to say. And I love that it features just his helmet. So that was Lewis Hamilton's helmet back in GP2 in 2006, which is pretty cool. And then down here we have an image of the Art Grand Prix car that he drove for that year's championship, which he then went on to win. Says up here nationality, British, birthday, height, weight, website, and then it tells you which categories he worked his way up from. So this is the GP2 card. This is what it looks like. Now, I was actually contacted by the people that own this card, and what they've done is they've actually got the whole entire set and they've actually uploaded it to TCDB F1 History Collector as the person who's photographed and uploaded all this information. So they've done the legwork. They've really gave as much information about the set and the card so you guys can check this right now. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video down below if you want to go and view the entire set. So let's have a little look at what this card set is, how rare it is, how did you get your hands on one, where can you buy one, and all of that. So back in 2006, if you had a media pass and you were covering the GP2 championship, you went into a room where they handed out this media kit where they tried to educate, obviously, the media press about the up and coming championship for GP2. They still do these to this day, but they don't actually give out books or leaflets anymore about it. That it's all online. You can go online and you can view all the information about which drivers have made their way up to F2 and their championship and so on and so on. So this is a bit of a lost art, I suppose, if you like, if you look at it like that. If we open up the binder, we can see here that it's got categories about the tracks, teams, and the drivers individually. And obviously, more importantly, this little pack of cards, which came in this plastic sort of container here. Now, what are the odds that these were given out to media press people from 2006 that covered GP2, which you got to imagine GP2 was covered a lot less than F1. So not many press officers, I would imagine, would have covered it back in the day. And you then have to say how many of them kept their cards in mint condition. You have to say that number has to be pretty low. I bet a lot of these just got thrown in the bin. But the people that actually contacted me are the owners of these cards, and it was actually a lady. I'm not going to mention their names because they said could they remain anonymous. The lady was actually the press officer that had a media pass for that year, and she got given one of these GP2 media kits, and she actually kept it in a drawer or in a cupboard for all of these years, up to, as of recording this video, about 17-18 years. This set has remained in that little box and never been opened. It has an introduction by Bernie Ecclestone. I think he's going to prison now, but this, to me, he's a bit of a legend. And then we go on to the Art Grand Prix section, where we have the Lewis Hamilton section, where they've done a 30-second interview and they've asked Lewis Hamilton questions when he was in GP2. He went on to win that championship that year, so he'd done pretty well, obviously, and then got signed to go to McLaren for the following year. There's a screenshot. If you guys want to take a screenshot or pause this video and have a little read of that, that is the article that was written in this media booklet. But more importantly, we've got the cards. This is the card set that it came in the little container. This is them opening it up for probably one of the first times, and this is the card set sitting on a desk. Oh, it makes me nervous thinking about it. But this is the entire set completely laid out. Now, as you'll see, Lewis Hamilton's this top left image here, number 1, and then we have a bunch of other drivers. Now, there isn't too many drivers to shout about in this set. There's a couple of noteworthy ones, which we'll talk about in another video. But this is a beautiful looking set nonetheless. It features all of the GP2 drivers for that year, their helmet and their car image. So really cool artwork, really cool images for that year. But obviously we're mainly concerned with the Lewis Hamilton. Now we're up to date with what's going on with this card, where it came from, who owns it, and how did you get your hands on one. We have to think, what are the odds that this would grade well? It's an 18-year-old card, which a lot of grading companies will know nothing about, so you have to then educate the grading companies, which you can do if there's a card set that you have sitting in your drawer that you think PSA don't know nothing about this. You can actually tell their researchers, look, this is the product, this is when it got made, this is the licensing agreement, and they will then look at that and go, okay, yes, we will grade these cards. Now, even if you get over all of that hurdle, which I assume would take months and months, how do you then, or what grade do you think one of these would get? It's very difficult to judge. Well, we know the answer because it's right here on the Goldin website, believe it or not. It's actually up for sale right now. And that is a Beckett's 9.5. So if you look at these Formula E cards like I just showed you, the most highest grade that's ever come out is a 9. Nobody's ever got a 10. And then you have the Futura card, which but as I'm aware, I don't believe there's a PSA 10 of that card either. So there's no 10s of Lewis Hamilton. Now, this one is a Beckett's 9.5. Now, when I was talking to this couple before they even listed it on Goldin, I did advise them that I think they had a better odds grading it with PSA, because PSA typically don't do the 9.5s and all of that. To get a 10 with Beckett's is very high end. If they had got a 10, this card would sell for a lot more money anyway, just because people love Beckett Black Label if they'd ever got that. But it's still an awesome grade, as I'm sure many of you will agree. So this is the Lewis Hamilton card. Obviously we have that picture of him with his helmet and the car. Beckett's 9.5. Now, what's this card worth? I'm sure many of you are watching this thinking, yeah, Glenn, just tell us, how much is it worth? Well, you can help decide that if you're watching this video, because it is currently up on Goldin Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then it ends on Sunday, I believe, American time at 3 a.m. in the morning. I assume that's my time. But currently the bids are at $1,100. Now, in comparison to obviously the Lewis Hamilton F3 card, which sold for like $10,000, $12,000, $13,000, This is very low, very, very low, very cheap in my opinion. Obviously you have to include the buyer's premium, so in total at the minute it's at 1,342. There's only 2 bids showing, and like I say, it's got 4.5 days left, so it should end Sunday. So make sure you go over to Goldin and have a look at this beautiful card, because I don't think you're ever going to see another one of it. One of them may pop up, who knows? But as far as I'm aware, as of recording this video, this is a Pop 1 card, and there is no other graded ones of it in PSA, Beckett's or anywhere. This is a set that, like I say, probably got handed out to 20 people, and what are the odds that any 20 of them actually kept it in good condition all of these years hidden away somewhere? So I think this is going to be a gem. I personally will be keeping an eye on this. It was fully licensed and backed by GP2 and the owners of F1. So that means that it's a fully licensed product. So nobody can question saying, oh yeah, Tops were the first fully licensed product. This was actually authorized and made for by GP2, which was regulated by the FIA, which runs Formula One. So this is a fully licensed product given out to media people with media passes that were covering GP2 in 2006. And then it's got a 9.5. What are the odds? I'm sure you could probably crack that and probably get it graded a PSA 10, potentially. So I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think that this should be now considered Lewis Hamilton's true rookie card because it's the first fully licensed product when he was in GP2? It wasn't even in Formula 1 then, he was in GP2. The Formula 3 card that I have here does predate it, but again, it wasn't a fully licensed product. So this is probably one of Lewis Hamilton's first known fully licensed products. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you guys think? Will you be bidding on this card? Do you want to have a chance at owning this beautiful piece? Goldin themselves have been tweeting and doing videos about this card on their social media platforms this week. And the people that reached out to me, they said, look, Glenn, could you do a video talking about the card whilst the auction's running to help educate people so that they're aware that this card's even out there? So I'm telling you guys about this card whilst it is currently up for sale, and I would say at a cheap-ish price. Let's move on to giveaways. I have 2 cards here from that set that I just showed you. So what are the odds? These are 2 GP2 drivers that feature in that same set that Lewis Hamilton one just got a 9.5 on. So these are going to be super, super rare. When I say super rare, these might be the only ones in the world. So if you ever think in your head, do you know what, I'm going to buy that Lewis Hamilton card and I'm going to try and get the whole set together, you have to win this giveaway, because there'll be one card that you'll never have. So let's have a little look. We have got Franck Pierria, I believe that's pronounced. I think he's a French driver. And then we have, more famously, Timo Glock. Now, you may remember the name Timo Glock. I remember him from when I used to watch Formula 1 back in the day. But more famously, I would say he's now known in that famous race where Lewis Hamilton and Felipe Massa went for the world title.
Of the season, he has done everything he needed to do, and we wait now to find out who will be the world champion of 2008. Can Hamilton do anything? Can he run it up the inside of Vettel? Only a few corners to go now, and desperation starts to creep in for Lewis Hamilton.
Raikkonen's third, and is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock. Oh my goodness me, Hamilton's back in position again. 100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstands. It's handed the place back to Hamilton. He comes through, and if I'm absolutely right, I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One world champion, Lewis Hamilton.
2 GP drivers there. I know Timo Glock. I don't know the other one, but I know there's many French collectors that watch these videos that just collect French drivers. So if you want a chance to win a piece of history, the same set as Lewis Hamilton's first known rookie card, comment down below who is your favorite F2 driver that never made it into F1. Comment down below and I will use a random comment picker to select one of you guys to win one of these cards. I'll share it and declare the winner on my Instagram, so make sure you follow me over on Instagram under the name F1 Sport Cards, and one of you guys will win one of these cards. That's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to smash up the like button. Click subscribe if you're new to these videos. You can follow me on my social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, all with the name F1 Sports Cards. You can buy F1 cards from my website, which is f1sportcards.com. And you can also take part in box breaks over on my Whatnot page, F1 Sports Cards, over on the Whatnot platform. That's it from me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll see you on the next one, and good luck to whoever wins the auction at Goldin this weekend. That's it, guys. Bye for now. Peace.